Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. This time I'm going to show you how to defeat promised Consort Radahn, which is the final boss of the DLC. For my building, I'm using a heavy Uchigatana plus 25, as well as the Fingerprint Stone Shield plus 25. The reason for the Great Shield choice is because you take less stamina damage while blocking with the Great Shield, and in Phase 2 especially, this boss has a ton of follow-up attacks. I've also brought Miquella's Great Rune into this fight. This is only needed if you get grabbed. Should you get grabbed, you want to find an opportunity to use the Great Rune. It will drop the charm off of you. This way, the second grab, should you get caught by it, will not instantly kill you. So you need the Great Rune in order to get rid of the charm from the grab. But if you never get grabbed, you're not going to have a problem. And the grab is very, very telegraphed, so you shouldn't be getting grabbed by it too often. Okay, starting out the fight, the boss generally dives in with this gravity dive. He spins around 3 times and just roll on the 4th time. The boss, as you saw there, all of his double sword swings that come from one direction will be delayed. So it's very important that you watch his hands. I say that in pretty much every Souls boss fight guide that I have. Always watch his hands because there will be a delay. You want to wait for the hand to begin moving toward you. For this gravity pull, you can roll through the pull. However, if he gets sucked in, just block and then immediately run backwards, and you'll avoid the whole gravity well that forms, and you won't take any of the damage. So the boss has 2 forms of that cross slash where he takes both swords and sort of throws them at you. If he sets it up with 2 individual slashes, you get full opportunity for 2 or 3 hits right here. You can hit him 2-3 times there. However, if he just quickly does the double slash, do not punish him. It's a quick slash and he recovers very, very quickly. So here is a double arm slash. You saw that he really delayed the swings there, followed it up. For this gravity attack here, you want to just run backwards, and then just as he releases the meteors, just pick another direction and run. The attack during Phase 2 of the same kind, you want to try to run to the right because the follow-up comes from the left, and if you're running to the right, you can avoid it if you're quick enough. That move that you saw just there with the eruption, you want to get really good at dodging that to the left, and the reason you want to dodge to the left is because during Phase 2, the ability, or all the hits within that ability, get followed up by beams of light. And if you are dodging to the right, you're constantly going to run yourself into those beams of light, whereas if you dodge to the left, you'll just go right around them. So this is the big sweep into an overhead slam again. We're going to transition into Phase 2 here shortly. So he does both swings, followed by a slam, another eruption, and then we'll transition to Phase 2. He generally opens Phase 2 with this ability here, where he sort of puts his arms out, begins hovering with Miquella. When he does that, you want to run away from him as quickly as possible. I recommend unhooking the camera. I'll do it a few more times throughout this fight, but if you don't unhook the camera, just hold back on the stick and just keep trucking, and you want to get out of that because unfortunately there is no way to dodge it without without the use of weapon art. So just be very, very careful with that ability. As soon as he does it, just do your best to get out of the way. However, if you're not able to get out of the way, face him and block with your shield. You won't take too much damage if you're blocking, but you really want to do your best to just get out of the way. All right, so this move right here can end in 2 different ways. It ended the worst way, where he follows up with another swing. So when you see him do that attack where he twirls back around, you want to do your best to wait before following up because he can slam again. And you saw there, that was that really long combo that results in an eruption. When that happens, you need to do your best to dodge the eruption, and you want to keep dodging everything to the left. When he does that slam attack after the meteors, you have to pay very, very close attention to him, because even though we successfully ran out of the way, he can follow up in a few different ways, and so you want to pay very close attention to what he does after he finally lands. But it's the same sort of idea. When he's chucking the meteors at you, or when he's summoning the meteors, run backwards, and then as soon as he lets go of the meteors and they start moving after you, turn left or right 90 degrees, and then just keep running. I recommend trying to run to the right because his follow-up attack will come from your left. And so if you're fast enough, if you have a low equip load, you'll be able to just run right past him. But it does put you in a better position, regardless of your equip load, to run to the right. This way you can try to dodge the follow-up by rolling. So you saw there's that big Jesus attack, I like to call it, where he just sort of hovers. You just pick a direction, run out of the ring, and you're fine. That ability right there is really tricky. We'll see it again in a little bit, but it does involve a really quick double roll to get through the last 2 attacks. So here we go with the slam again. When he pulls up, the light beams go up with him. You want to dodge that earlier than you did in phase 1. You want to dodge as soon as you see his hands begin to lift. You don't want to dodge once you see the light beams. It's already too late if you're doing that. All right, so here's the big twirl again. He did not follow that up with another slam, but I got put in a bad position, so I wasn't able to get out of it. So for the meteors, we're running away. As soon as he releases, I actually moved a little bit too early. But once he releases, start running to the right, and then you'll be able to get out of the way. All right, so here we have the 2 attacks again into a twirl. He did not follow that up, but that's why I didn't follow up myself, because I was waiting, and I ended up rolling into this attack because I waited too long. All right, so we got 1 slam, 1, 2, followed by a backslash. That backslash there, it's deadly. However, if you just roll into him or roll to the left, you'll avoid it. You just want to roll twice to avoid it, and then you can get 1 follow-up in there. That sort of mirror image attack, you just want to either block and hold left. This way you kind of get pushed out of the way. Or if you're able to see it quicker than I could, if you're able to react quicker to it, you could just move to the left and he'll avoid you. All right, so there is the overhead slam. All these blood flame attacks, I recommend trying to get behind the blood flame because he has a lower chance of following it up right away, and you'll actually get a second to breathe. So whenever you see him do that blood flame stab followed by the arc slash, just back up and get out of the way. For his meteor jump, all you want to do is just turn around and run in a single direction and do not stop. Do not stop until you see the actual flames of the explosion at the end. Then you can turn around and get back to work. You do not want to stop running, otherwise you will get clipped and you will take an absolute ton of damage. Another way to deal with that is if you're too close to a wall from the start, just run along the wall and then try to get behind the wall, and you should be able to avoid most of the damage, but just block as soon as he lands, and even if you're too close, you should be able to block most of the damage, as long as you're behind that wall and he ran into the wall. So here we go again. He throws the meteors. I tried jumping just to get out of the way. I managed to avoid most of those attacks there. However, I ran into a pillar and it stopped me, so the environment kind of betrayed me. But luckily, he does this big AoE move. I'm able to get out of it and heal back up and wait for him to come to me. Now, you'll notice in this phase, things are taking a really long time. That's because you really don't get many opportunities to deal damage to him. He's really quite aggressive in phase 2 here, and because some of his attacks have follow-ups, some of them don't, you kind of only have a couple of opportunities for like really clean damage. And so a bleed weapon is really, really helpful here because you're constantly stacking that bleed damage, and it doesn't actually go away for a very long time. So even if you're only getting 1 hit in every couple seconds, you're still building that meter up, and you're actually going to see right here he dies to a bleed proc, and that's what kills him. So a bleed weapon is really, really helpful in this fight, but of course, bring whatever you like, use whatever magic, weapon art, summons, whatever can help you. Summons in this fight may betray you in phase 2 just because of all the AoE happening all over the place. It's easier to manage when he's in your face and you know where the AoE is going to happen, but if he's focusing on your summon or the person you summon to help you, or even the NPC, Ansbach, to help you, the AoE may get a little crazy for you, but if it works, it works. Do whatever you got to do to kill him. And once you do, you finish the DLC. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, there's still more to come, so subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when those go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. You can also leave a super thanks by clicking the heart icon below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links for those are in the description below. As always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.